Well, check that guy out. They don't all have to be big when they look like that. It came as part of a double take this morning over a Spod mix I've got 100% confidence in. I do a couple of little things different to everybody else. So we're going to do a couple of stills of this fella, slip him back and get onto that Spod mix. Right, I'm going to talk you through the Spod mix now that I use for probably 90% of my fishing. It's something I've used over the last few years, I've got ultimate confidence in, and it's given me some great success. It's basically got 3 or 4 key elements to it. You know, it's something that we all use, but there's a variation on a theme of why I do and why each component is different and what I do to them. So starting first, it's boilies. I've got in here at the minute is the link and the hybrid. So what I do is I prepare this in advance to the session. So I'll crush them all up, put them into sort of freezer bags and maybe add a liquid to them. So this will either be hemp oil, or I'm finding at the minute the actual activators, the base mix activators from Mainline, the dedicated ones. I add maybe just a splash of that to each bag, make sure they have a liberal coating on them. And what that does then when you refreeze them and take them out again, it draws all that natural juices into them. So basically, you've got a boilie on steroids, as I like to find it. You know, it's leaking off all that attraction all the time, and it gives you a different element to the bait. After that, I add some nice response pellets to the mix. The response pellets are the same, so the hybrid at the minute in here. And what I do, again, I prepare them in advance. So I might use a bottle of hemp oil or half a bottle of hemp oil to each mix that I make. And basically the pellets absorb it and draw it in. If I was just going to add the hemp oil to the mix prior to my session, what that does is, yeah, you'll get the nice oil slick coming off your spot, but when it falls through to the bottom, you know, you want something that's going to be oozing off attraction for hours and hours after the mix has hit the bottom. So adding and preparing that into the pellets beforehand just means that, you know, for hours afterwards, you've got little pinpricks of oil coming up over your spots where the oil's coming up off the lake bed to the surface. And what in turn I believe that does is, especially when it's hot days and the fish are sort of milling around in the upper layers, that can often draw their attention down to the mix and often get you them extra few bites, maybe on a day when the fish aren't feeding as heavy. Lastly, I normally add something, either chickpeas or sweet corn, depending on what I feel, you know, the fish want to feed on. Something that adds a little bit of different dimension to it, a little bit of colour to the mix. Basically, when I arrive at the lake then, I get one of the stick mix liquids. At the minute I'm using the link one, so I'll give it a liberal coating to the bait. You know, this isn't like I've said to before, it's not drawing into the bait 24 hours beforehand. All it is I want something that's going to give the bait a halo so that when it falls through the water when I'm spodding, it gives off a nice cloudy aroma, and again a scent trail for the carp to go down on. And often, not more than not really recently, I've been getting takes probably 20-30 minutes on quite difficult venues after spodding. I believe that's got something definitely to do with it. So that's a Spod mix that's served me well over the last few years. Give it a go yourself and I'm sure hopefully it'll put more fish on the bank for you.